Republicans, they have been so successful at redefining what most Americans think the Second Amendment does, think the Second Amendment says. You wrote about this in your book. How do we get to this moment where even modest action on gun reform becomes an absolutely uphill battle?
Well, there's a reason, right, why Mitch McConnell stole a seat on the Supreme Court. And it's because these laws, the lack of gun regulations and the overregulation of a woman's uterus, these laws are being handed down to us from the Supreme Court, which is the one body of government that is unelectable, unaccountable to the people, and cannot be easily replaced. So there's a reason why Republicans want Republican judges to do this work, and it's because of the stats that you just said, Alicia. What Republicans want is massively unpopular in this country. And so they have their judges, they have their politicians in robes do by judicial fiat what they could not do through the ballot box.
Ali, the Charlotte Observer reports North Carolina's lieutenant governor says he owns an AR-15 so he can fight back in case, quote, the government gets too big for its britches. Talk to me about this connection between guns and this bonkers threat of government tyranny.
I mean, do you know the payload that comes on a Tomahawk missile? All right, do you have any idea what kind of force and firepower the American military can lay waste to a city or a town or your house, and you think that your armor light rifle is gonna be what stops them? Are you nuts? No, your guns will not protect you from the U.S. government if the U.S. government wants your stuff. Ask, I don't know, like Panama. All right. So the idea that there's some kind of connection between like your personal armament and stopping tyranny from the government is just factually ludicrous. But it is part of the NRA's advertising campaign. They want people to think. They want weekend warriors to think. They want people who are like really good at paintball to think that one day they can stop a tank with their AR-15, and it ain't going to happen. But that's how they sell their guns.
Melissa, you heard my entire tee up here. You've seen all the polling. We've all seen all the polling. Most Americans, they support reproductive freedom. They support action on gun safety. The Supreme Court's about to rule on two cases that could overturn Roe, limit restrictions on guns. You and I have talked many times about the court and the way the sort of sense of the court on the part of the American people is important as an institution. What does it mean for the court that there is such a disconnect between what Americans want and how the court is ruling?
So let me just come back to something that Ellie just said, because I think it's really important. That lieutenant governor is basically offering an entirely different rhetoric on gun rights than we've ever seen. The NRA used to talk about gun rights because of hunting and sportsmanship, and this is part of an American tradition. Now they're talking about it in the same valence with which the insurrectionists talked about it on January 6th. This is necessary to correct the government when the government oversteps. That's a major shift in the rhetoric of the gun rights movement, and we should acknowledge it. This isn't what they used to talk about. It's actually much more extreme. They're saying the quiet part out loud. With regard to the court, I've said this before on this program, the court is the only institution that is unaccountable to the people, but it is also the only institution that depends on the people for its legitimacy. It doesn't have the power of the sword like the president. It doesn't have the power of the purse like Congress. The only reason why Americans obey the Supreme Court is because they believe that what the Supreme Court is doing is principled and legitimate. When they stop believing that, then the court is in a world of trouble. And they already seem to sense that that may be what is happening. We've had Justice Thomas and Justice Barrett go out on the huskings to proclaim that they are not partisan hacks. And yet, we still have decisions like this. We still have Clarence Thomas showing up with Herschel Walker in Georgia. We still have Mrs. Thomas sending texts to Mark Meadow. This is all part of the perception of the court, and it's vitally important for the court's legitimacy that the public see it as above the partisan fray.